All right. We're recording. We're on. This is the podcast now.
We're on?
Yeah, now it's the podcast.
It started.
I feel like we said so many things before we started that would have been cool. Like you were just saying when you first. So Jack Snodgrass, here everybody, comedian, former professional baseball player.
That's true.
Yep, played professionally, and we'll talk about that later. But you were saying that when you first started comedy, you were a stool guy. You sat down.
I was a stool guy.
I thought you were Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a stigma. You know, I was just totally innocent because I sat down on the stool because I was so nervous. My body was full of just chaos and fear. I feel like if I sat down, that would simplify things,
Right,
and slow things down. But even still, I was still so nervous. I would be fumbling in my pockets.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah,
Just keeping everyone on fucking total edge the whole time. But yeah, I'm a stand-up comic now. I don't do.
You don't do that hack shit like sit on the stool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but I definitely did like the first couple times. Everyone who does stool comedy and they're not Dave
Right.
Chappelle.
Yeah,
they're like at a mic, they sit down. They're like, "This is sit-down comedy."
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely said that once.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it's crazy the things you do when you first start. Yeah. A caveat to the sitting down thing, it's weird because most stand-ups consider it hack. And if you see someone sit down, you're like, oh, here we go. But there's a few that are incredible that do that.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, of course, most famously. And then, what am I blanking on this guy's? New York guy. No, I'm talking about the only other most famous comic that sits down. Crowd work guy. Big J. Okerson.
Oh yeah, Big J
Yeah,
does
yeah.
sit down. Yeah.
There's actually a comic in Nashville who is hilarious.
Yeah.
And he sits down. He's old. Like he's one of those guys. Sometimes people that get into comedy older, occasionally they'll be really funny just because they have so much life experience.
Yeah.
And they don't have as many. I don't know. This guy, he's like done so much that he's not intimidated by comedy or something.
Yeah.
And he just is funny. It's
Yeah.
interesting. They're
And
rare, but they
Yeah,
happen.
and they're kind of like out of touch a little bit, so they come in and they don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, this dude's brave, and it's like,
Right.
no, he just doesn't.
Yeah,
he's
doesn't
just not
care.
tapped in at all.
Yeah. And that's how this guy is. His name is Jimmy. He's so funny. But it kills me. He who knows? Maybe he'll figure it out. But he just has too much other stuff going on to actually like pursue it. You know. But if he could, man, he'd be incredible.
It's my greatest fear is to have too much shit going on.
Yeah.
And then 20 years later to be like, damn, dude, if you just didn't do half of that,
Right.
you could have 15 more minutes.
Yeah. You could have like 7 more jokes.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Yeah. I heard Rogan say before is like if you feel like you need to hire an assistant, just do less stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't need to be as busy as
No.
they trick us into thinking.
No, definitely not. But yeah, so you played professional baseball, which is very cool. Not your first professional athlete to come on this podcast.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow, maybe. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big moment
That's
in
right.
the standard capacity podcast history.
That's right. Happy to add some AAA clout
Yeah.
to the podcast.
Yeah. What was that? So what team you played for? A few different teams, right?
Yeah, drafted by the San Francisco Giants, and I got all the way up to AAA with them, which was there's like 6, maybe even like 8 rungs of the minor league ladder.
Yeah. Explain how that works because I don't fully understand all that.
Okay, so there is. You can be professional at baseball, but you can be a 14-year-old professional baseball player if you live in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And you just live at like their campsite, and they just give you like Dodgers gear
Interesting.
and eggs and a glove, and then
Eggs.
and then you and like $10, and you're a Dodger.
Okay.
So that's one way to get started. And usually, so those guys typically go to what's called rookie ball,
Okay.
and extended spring training. So that's like, so spring training is like when everyone, it's like the first day of school.
Yeah.
All the classes are there. It's probably like 300 players.
Okay.
Extended spring training is the absolute lowest version of minor league baseball. And that's where you were either hurt or not good enough to break spring training and go to low A, high A, double A, triple A.
Okay.
It's kind of like the special needs.
Like, it's not going to work out for you, probably. Yeah.
It's like the special needs of minor league baseball.
All right.
It's really fun. But it's also like a lot of like young, promising like Latin dudes or like guys who were drafted out of high school who just like instead of going to college, they're doing this.
So there's guys that do elevate out of that.
For sure.
Okay.
Most don't.
Okay, right.
But no, it is kind of like step one, and then after that, there's
So it's like a comedy open mic in a town you've never heard of.
pretty much,
Okay.
pretty much, yeah. Like if you weren't wearing major league licensed gear,
Right.
you'd be like, dude, what am I doing? Like, is this
Yeah.
is this
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
professional baseball?
Right.
Because they go like all summer long, they'll play at like these all the other like spring training facilities in
Mhm.
Arizona or Florida, and they're not glamorous. There's no fans.
Yeah.
It's like Sandlot shit, except you're just playing against other highly promising
Right. Okay.
18-year-olds.
Interesting.
There's a lot of like people who throw 100 miles an hour, but they throw it over the backstop. It's like insane.
Yeah. Okay.
And like 400-pound guys that can hit the ball to the moon,
Right.
but they strike out the other 98% of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
all right, so that's like the first level. I got drafted and I went straight to short season A ball in Salem Kaiser, Oregon. And short season A is like it's like basically like a college all-star league. So everyone
Okay.
who got drafted and didn't have a big contract to negotiate, they send you straight to this. And have you seen Summer Catch?
I have not. No.
Damn. Have you heard of like the Cape Cod League?
No. Sorry.
Well, I guess I just stopped talking.
Oh,
No,
have you heard of baseball?
it's just like it is the first rung of like professional baseball, but there's fans, there's stadiums, so like,
Right,
it
okay.
feels real. So like that's cool, and that's what I did for it. But it's a short season; it's only like 70 games
Okay.
because you get drafted in June, and that season starts in July, but it's only like 2.5 months long.
Okay.
And that was all in the Pacific Northwest, which was cool because I got to see like Vancouver, Boise, Idaho, which is actually cool, and then a bunch of like shitholes like Yakima, Washington, and I don't even know, but there it was.
Yeah.
The Pacific Northwest is crazy.
Is moving up between the levels the same as going from AAA to the majors? Does it work the same way? Where it's like if you're in single A, you're like, oh, I got called up to double, and then you get sent back down. It's
typically you're usually not getting sent back and forth between the levels. Like usually
Okay.
major league, going from major league to AAA, that has a lot of transactions. But
okay.
usually once you're at your minor league spot, you're there for the year for the most part. Especially because I was with the Giants, and that was a frustrating part and like a theme of being with them was that when I was with them, they were winning a World Series every other year. So they didn't really give a fuck about their minor leaguers. So usually whenever you got sent somewhere out of spring training, that's where you would finish the year because they weren't interested in having a lot of movement because their big league team was so fixed. Like they didn't need much from us. So my first full year was high A. I skipped low A.
What's is it high A? Is that AAA? Is that
No.
okay.
So low A is basically your first full season. They play 142 games.
Okay.
Yeah, and I skipped that and I went to high A, which is right below double A.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why they have a low A and a high A. There's definitely a difference between the two. I never played low A, so I don't know what. I think they're just really young. High A is like
Okay.
because I got drafted when I was 23, and I was like a low round pick. Like I was the 27th round of 50, and they sent me to high A because I like knew how to pitch. Like I wasn't like raw.
Right.
I had some I had some pitchability to me because I was just older and I kind of got it. So they kind of sent me to high A. I was like, all right, you can go here and play well, and if you don't, that's probably it for you, buddy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't say that, but that's the
Yeah.
message. Like, hey, we're gonna give you this shot, and if you fuck it up, hey, don't say we didn't do anything
Right.
for you. So I went to high A, had a good year. Went to double A the next year, had a great year. Went back to double A the next year, had an even better year.
Oh, okay.
Went back to double A the next year after that, and at that point, I was like, dude, this sucks.
Yeah.
Because it just took a lot for me to have good seasons in double A, and I always had heard that like, if you can pitch in double A, then you can pitch in a big leagues. There's not and looking back, like I played in triple A a little bit. Most of my career was in double A.
Okay.
And yeah, I saw a lot. There's a lot of guys that I play with or against in double A that are in the big leagues now doing well. And even in double A, they weren't like spectacular. They were just good players in double A, and they went on to just become good players in the big leagues. And if you're a good player in the big leagues for 10 years, you can, it's a significant amount of big league time and money and
Right.
all that good stuff. Yeah.
I wonder why baseball has, because the other professional sports don't really have this, right? I mean, I know the NBA has the G League, which hasn't even been around that long. The NFL doesn't really have. I know they experimented with XFL and different things, but it's kind of a different. Like, it's crazy how many leagues and
Yeah.
rungs that.
Well, I guess like I don't know. There's just not a lot of because you can play baseball.
Is it because
till
more
you're
people
old.
play baseball? Is that why you think?
No, I don't. This is the first time I'm thinking about this. I think the answer is I think it's all it's all a fucking Ponzi scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yes, 100%. It's all because like
Baseball is just essential oils.
yeah, they're just they
rich
need
guys.
as many ballparks as possible so people can come in and buy beer and French fries.
Okay.
That's what I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone else if this is actually true, but like baseball is totally such an arbitrary sport. Like when you go just to a regular season game in like May, that you can go to a big league game. That it's not like it's maybe not the Dodgers or something like that, but most big league parks you can get in the park for $6.
Yeah.
You know, and they just want you in there to buy the $10 beer,
Right.
and all that shit. And that's their business model.
Yeah.
So they just do that for AAA, AA, and they sell it to the public.
Yeah.
And they're like, these guys are going to be stars.
Yeah. See them before they're famous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And baseball, like people who love baseball are fucking nerds. And I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Oh, whenever I see the guy with the stat sheet, you know, it's like, whoa.
Dude, insane. Yeah. So, I think that's the business model. But also, in the big leagues, you can play in the big leagues well into your 30s. It's not weird. Football and basketball, it's like the exception.
Yeah.
But baseball, a lot of those guys are like hitting their primes, or not their physical prime, but like their professional prime. Like it seems like years 30, 31, 32.
Interesting.
Just because now the game's a lot younger than it used to be. I think that was that was a choice that Major League Baseball wanted. Like, hey, we need to get these like young and exciting guys up as soon as possible because our sport's boring as fuck. We need superstars. We need something to sell this with. So, like, they're like, who cares if this exciting 20-year-old hits 200 for 5 years? We don't care. As long as he hits a couple home runs and sells some jerseys, it's fine. But, I think that it's not as – the attrition isn't as crazy as it is in other sports. So I think that they're like, well, we have our big league team, and there's not going to be much turnover for the next like 5 or 6 years.
Right.
So we might as well have these other feeder systems, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Essentially, what you're saying is just a way for them to make more money. Yeah.
I mean, because there is no reason for them to have 6 other affiliates.
Because they could just easily be like, you're not good enough. You know.
Totally. But the thing is, the big dirty secret is that they don't pay you anything. Yeah. That's why they can do it. Because if they all gave us like a living wage, now they've boosted salaries a little bit, but it's still like nothing.
Yeah, I was going to ask in triple, like if you're let's say the best case scenario of one of the top AAA players. I mean, can you make a living doing that?
It depends. If you're still on your rookie deal, so when you get drafted, you sign a 6-year contract. Okay, and that is what you are bound to.
And that's with a major league team?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you make the big leagues. As soon as you make the big leagues, that contract is thrown out the window. You now have a whole new deal.
Okay.
But if you're on your rookie deal in AAA, you will make about $3,000 a month.
Okay.
But there's not a lot of guys on their rookie deal in AAA. Usually, so if you are on your rookie deal in AAA, chances are you were a high round draft pick and you got a lot of money up front as a signing bonus. So you should be good.
Right.
But a lot of guys in AAA have been to the big leagues, so their rookie contracts thrown out. So they're down there with this like hybrid contract, this like minor league, major league contract, more or less. It's the Major League Players Union. I do think they probably have the strongest union in all sports. I have no data to back that up, but they just have a lot of leverage and like player friendly shit, and like they get taken care of. Now minor leaguers are totally fucked. Like the amount of money. Like I remember whenever I started making over $500 a paycheck, I was like, okay, this maybe I can start saving $1 or $2 every now and then. But no, it was very hard. But like looking back, you're like, man, they fucked us, dude. But you're not meant to stay in the minor leagues. It's
Yeah.
not meant to be sustainable. You're meant
Right.
to get to the big leagues as fast as possible or get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I got to where I was watching in the summer. I was watching some of the G League NBA stuff,
Mm.
and it is kind of, I don't know, maybe because like doing comedy, I felt like I don't know, it was really interesting because like these guys are fighting for their careers,
Yeah.
so it made the stakes almost seem higher than a play. It was like a higher than a playoff game, right? Like a playoff game in the NBA, they're fighting for the. I mean, they're fighting to stay on the team, but it's like, I don't know, fighting to not be poor and get to play basketball
Yeah,
seems like
yeah.
higher stakes than just being able to say I won. Did it feel that way like when you were playing, where it's like there was? Of course, I guess you didn't have to compare it to the majors, but like, did it feel intense because people are like, I'm fighting to be a millionaire right now?
No, I guess not, because baseball's not intense like that. There's so many games. Like if you try to bring that intensity, especially if you're like a hitter,
You're just gonna wear yourself out.
yeah. If you try to bring that level of, man, it's either this or the fucking, or I'm. That's it.
Yeah,
It's either this or I live in a van.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to sustain that for 142 games.
I bet.
So hitters are very chill, like just their disposition in general. They're not really flustered by much because they're like, no matter what happens today, I have to come back and do this shit again tomorrow. I have to go catch fly balls and ground balls, and then try to hit 5 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, most hitters and relief pitchers are the best drinkers and the best partiers because they're like the blue collar everyday guys.
Okay.
And pitchers, like starting pitchers like me, we're fucking just prissy,
Yeah.
white collar. Most of them golf. Just totally
That's funny.
privileged. Yeah.
Do you still? I know we went to a game at Wrigley.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Do you still enjoy watching Major League Baseball, even though
Definitely.
you're kind of involved?
Definitely. The regular season, though, I am totally tuned out of.
Yeah.
It's just too much. Baseball is ultimately just like this thing that is like, it's kind of like the regular season. When you watch it, it's like good. It's like great background music or something. Like you clean the house and the game is on.
Right.
But to sit down and like actively watch 9 innings of baseball.
Yeah, I've done that some with since moving to Chicago, I throw the Cubs games on, and you're right. It's like you can have it on, you can kind of half pay attention to it. It's cool.
An hour can go by and you won't miss anything.
Yeah,
yeah. But playoffs are cool because that's when you really feel the intensity. Because those dudes, that's when they really lock in. Because the regular season, they're like, oh, we got our scouting reports, and like, I'll probably get a couple hits today. But whenever the playoffs are around, they really
turn it up.
Like I think I could have played in the big leagues and like. Because there's so many games that they just don't really give a fuck about. They're like, oh, damn, this new guy, Snodgrass, came in and had a good game against us. That's weird. We'll probably never see him again. Like, I feel like I could sneak a couple good performances past the league, but in the playoffs, no shot.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I would be exposed as a total fraud. Yeah.
That's funny. You grew up, because you're from Cincinnati, right? So Reds fan?
No, I'm not from Cincinnati.
Oh.
I moved from Chicago to Chicago from Cincinnati.
Okay.
I was only there for 2.5 years.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you were from there for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't really. Yeah. No, I'm from originally Bowling Green, Kentucky, just by Nashville.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Now I remember. Now it's all coming back.
Yeah,
I remember you saying that before. Okay.
Born in South Carolina, raised from ages 4 to maybe, I don't know, very young baby boy to I left Bowling Green when I was like 19.
Okay.
And didn't really.
Well, fine. I guess you won't give a fuck about this story than I was about to say. I had a cool Cincinnati thing to say, and now you're like, I'm not even actually from there. You didn't do your research.
Actually, I fucking hate that place.
I hate the Reds.
So I'm still connected to Cincinnati.
Okay.
I still am a patron of the scene of the comedy scene. I wish the Reds the best. And I'm a diehard Bengals fan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's probably where I got confused. Remember we were talking about football.
Yeah.
You're a big Bengals fan.
Yeah,
Which we
bandwagon. Totally, just hopped right on.
Okay, yeah.
No problem.
Well, what I was gonna say before I realized you didn't fucking give a shit about this at all is my family on my dad's side is from northern Kentucky and very very close. So Cincinnati was like their city, even though they were right across the border. And I went to a Reds game as a little kid and saw and Deion Sanders was playing.
Ooh.
It's weird. It's one of my earliest memories as a kid. I remember distinctly I remember it was a nice day, a sunny day. I remember sitting up in the stands and looking down, and he had just all this like gold jewelry on. And I remember as a kid just thinking that was wild because it was like glistening in the
This
sun.
guy's just
It's
gleaming.
like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know? And then because of that, I was like a Deion Sanders fan. I had the cards and all the stuff like that, you know?
100%. I had the
Yeah.
shoes. Because
Oh, really? That's
had
awesome.
Double Velcro. Yeah.
And Deion's as big as ever now with
Big
with
as ever.
the,
He's like the Beatles.
yeah,
or
with the
something.
Buffaloes.
Yeah, dude.
Which I'm a big fan of the Colorado Buffaloes. I hopped on that bandwagon
100%.
so quick.
People, I didn't know that they irritate people. I didn't know that was
Yeah, I know.
But it's totally predictable, of course.
Right.
Because I'm sure people are like, I don't really watch the news or sports news really, so I'm sure that they're everywhere
Yeah.
in terms of coverage. And that's guaranteed to get half the country to be like, I don't like them.
Yeah, it's about to happen with Kansas City. Everyone's about to hate Kansas
I
City.
fucking hate the Chiefs, dude.
Well, you already hate them because you're a Bengals fan.
Yes.
But even people who liked him, because I kind of like Patrick Mahomes.
I do too.
You know, and I didn't have a problem with Travis Kelce, and I like the Chiefs to a certain degree.
Sure.
But I've been watching like Monday Night Football. It's like every damn commercial
Every commercial,
is
bro.
something with the Chiefs.
Is either Kelsey or Mahomes. Fucking Andy Reid.
Yeah,
He's
it's
doing
crazy.
spots. That is insane.
It's getting a little out of hand.
But I like Andy Reid. I like Mahomes. A lot of people fucking hate Mahomes.
Weird.
Because
He seems like a good dude.
did you watch Quarterback?
I did.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
incredible.
people were like, he's annoying. It's like, dude, they're like, he's
No.
cocky. I'm like, dude, he's the best quarterback
No.
on the planet.
I liked him. I actually really appreciate his demeanor. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
100%.
Like to me, he has the perfect demeanor of a great athlete.
Yep.
He knows what he can do. He knows what he's capable of, but he does not seem like he knows he's earned it, but he doesn't seem like overly cocky about it. To
Yeah.
me, you know,
Yeah, I fuck with Patrick Mahomes.
just seems
big
like a
time.
confident guy that works hard.
Yep, no doubt. But I think that where I have grown to resent the Chiefs, like, so the Bengals they've beaten the Chiefs like 3 of the last 4 times.
Yeah, Bengals have had some great teams in the last few years.
Yes, but the Chiefs, it's the amount of calls that they get. Like,
Yeah.
I remember like idolizing Michael Jordan and like almost him having this like godlike
Mhm.
persona to me.
Right.
But then when I got older and I know there was like, I remember I had like baseball coaches. One coach in particular, he was like, you know, in his mid 40s, and he had a totally different perspective on Michael Jordan. He's like, man, fuck that guy. he was like, he's like, I think the NBA asked him to bow out because of the gambling. Like, he had to take a year off because he got too crazy with it. And like the Bulls get all the calls, and he basically had this highly skeptical take that the Bulls were just this highly profitable arm of the NBA. They were doing everything they can to protect them, because why wouldn't you? It's
Right.
you basically have this rock star team.
Right.
It's a huge. So I think, I see where he said that, and now I'm like watching the Chiefs. I'm like, the same shit's happening.
Yeah, I do think there's an element to that.
Yeah.
But I will say though, on the contrary to that, is they didn't just pick that team randomly. They had to earn that.
100%.
There is for sure a momentum with that. I think for sure.
100%.
I'll tell you, refs didn't put those goddamn balls through that basket though.
That's right. But if you're giving foul calls to Michael Jordan,
Right, it helps.
he shoots 98% from the line.
Yeah,
those points are getting scored.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's just, I don't know.
yeah. No, I think I've been getting annoyed with the whole NFL is rigged stuff
It is,
because
bro.
it's like, well,
Go ahead.
the extent that some people believe it's rigged to me is crazy.
Okay.
I agree with you though. Refs for sure have they have game plans. I
Yeah.
think for sure.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like affecting the outcome, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so like last week I was I was watching the Dolphins and the Giants, just a horseshit game. Like just the spread was like 14.
Yeah.
And the Giants were doing everything they could to lose by 40. But I'm sitting on my couch, I'm like, the NFL needs this game to be close because New York is a huge market.
Mm.
It's a divisional game. Miami's like a hot, sexy team. They can't have this game be a blowout. So you just watch flag after flag after flag, like saving drives for the Giants, and you're like, I mean, that's just purely anecdotal. But I think that they do try to preserve their business.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Like they can't be having teams getting their ass kicked,
right.
and because people check out, they're not watching all their precious commercials.
Unless it's the Broncos.
Yeah.
What did the Broncos do to piss off the NFL refs?
They're bad.
they're just
dude.
bad. They're just really
they're just
bad.
Yeah,
just really
I
bad.
think they're tanking.
Yeah.
I think it feels like Sean Payton took over as like regime change.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's just get rid of all these fuckers,
Right.
and we'll be the worst team in football, and then I can get rid of them,
Right.
and then bring in my boys.
It is crazy. This is something that's always kind of fascinated me, is especially when it comes to, because I did not make it anywhere near as far as you did, but I played basketball. And so I have kind of a perspective a little bit on how incredibly difficult it would be to make it to the pros, even the level that you made it to, with the AAA, right? So I remember sitting at a Bulls game watching. It was Bulls playing the Pistons. It was the last game of the year, so I was able to get like these really close seats because like no one gave a shit about that game, And I remember watching the Pistons warm up. I didn't know any of those players, and I was sitting there looking at them, and I was like, man. To be able to put on that jersey, the amount of work and how fucking hard it is to put on that jersey, to be on that court right now wearing that jersey. You know what I mean? Even though this is one of the worst teams right now.
Yeah.
And then you think about that, but there's still people who somehow are just like way above that. They shine even in that world.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because, an NBA roster is 12 people, right?
Right.
And there's like one or two dudes on every team who is like, the franchise is built around.
Right.
And then of those one or two dudes per team, there's like 5 in the league that the league is built around.
Yeah.
And that's fucking crazy to be that
Right.
good at something.
And you look at a team like the Broncos. How hard was it they're NFL starters.
Yeah.
They're NFL starters.
Yeah.
But they're getting destroyed by everyone.
Absolutely destroyed.
You know?
I mean, they're competing a little bit, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just interesting how there's such a disparity even at the highest level.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like with just on a physical level in the universe, it's like usually the higher level of things, like the margins become smaller and smaller and smaller. So it is, to me, interesting that professional sports, you still have people that just can outshine.
Yeah. I mean, all sports are top heavy, no matter what. Because realistically, when the NFL season began, there was 5 teams that could win the Super Bowl. Wouldn't you say? Maybe 7 tops, depending on like injuries and luck and stuff like that. And the rest are just a business,
right?
More or less. They're just trying to get people in the seats, trying to stay competitive and be better next year or some shit.
Yeah, that's what frustrates me. I feel like the Titans are doing that right now.
Yeah,
because I love Derrick Henry, as a Titans fan growing up in Nashville. Incredible running back, so much fun to watch. But it's like, man, I would love to see him on a winning team. He deserves to be on a winning team. He doesn't have a lot of years left in his career, and I feel like the Titans are just hanging on to him just because they know people will pay to watch him.
Yeah, he's like a cast member. Yeah. No, seriously, they're like, well, because I went to the Bengals Titans game a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And like they introduced the Titans offense first. No one made a fucking noise for 10 of those starters.
Oh yeah,
that came out. But then even Tannehill, people are like,
whatever.
But when Derrick Henry comes out, then it's like everyone was
superstar.
pumped. Yeah. So it's like if you get rid of him, what are you selling to the friend? Like, how are you gonna sell that to?
Right. It'd be funny to look at the jersey sales for the Titans. It'd be like 95% Derrick Henry, 3% Steve McNair.
Yeah. The Titans have
1% Eddie Jordan. It's probably still like old.
100% Frank Wycheck.
Yeah.
100%. Frank Wycheck is my all-time favorite Titans name to drop because I grew up when I was 45 minutes away from the Titans when they became a thing. But I was just a dickhead kid. And I was like, because everyone around me like, ooh, we like the Titans. And I was like, I don't. The Titans are fucking stupid. Even though it's the closest thing Kentucky has ever had to a professional sports team.
Right, yeah.
Especially football.
Yeah.
I wanted no part of it for some reason.
I bet that was an interesting split, though, because, Southern Kentucky, probably more likely to be Titans fan, but then Northern Kentucky, Bengals.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not even sure who the fuck Bengals fans are, dude.
Yeah.
When you go to those games, you're like, who are these people? just what river did you crawl out of, dude? It's insane.
I'm sure you've been to Covington, Kentucky.
Oh,
before.
Of course, dude. That's like a huge that area is a huge mafia, like Cincinnati in general.
Interesting.
But Covington and Newport specifically, huge mafia hubs.
Really?
Yeah. Big time. I think probably because Cincinnati's like so central, like you can go
Okay.
So many different directions.
Now
You
the
could-
chili spaghetti is starting to make sense.
Yeah. That's right. Hey, this chili needs fucking noodles.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Have you ever had it? It's pretty good.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Skyline's great, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe not great, but it's
Yeah.
good. It does the job. In terms of like fast food, yeah, dude. Yeah, it's good. Like,
I've made my own chili spaghetti before.
yeah,
It's good.
I put noodles. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't put
Spicy, you know? And
Yeah,
just-
I don't put the actual noodles because that's just work.
Okay.
I like give me the little pigtailed ones.
Oh, gotcha.
What are
Okay,
those?
yeah.
Rigatoni.
Oh, fusilli?
I don't know, but
Fusilli,
little
yeah.
fucking spirals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Chili is for poor people for sure. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like the noodles are in there to beef it up
Right.
and give you more
Yeah.
more sustenance.
We
to
know
get-
pizza. You know how pizza was invented?
Um,
Have you ever heard this story?
probably by poor people.
It was.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating because pizza is like a kind of like a luxury kind of special occasion type of thing. I feel like now, but it was invented because I guess in Italy people were poor and didn't have enough money to buy large amounts of meat, but bread and cheese was available and
Mhm.
tomatoes and stuff like that, right? So it was a way to portion out what little meat they had, you know, to divide with their family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you have this like little sausage, you're like, all right, here's your chunk. Here's
Yeah,
your.
that's
It's
true.
kind of sad,
But if you get a full piece of
but-
pizza,
and you just break it up and then spread it out.
you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
Thanks, Grandma.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I heard at least. It could be totally not true.
I know that makes sense.
That'd be a crazy thing for someone to
There's
make
no
up.
way, like, the fucking aristocrats invented pizza.
No,
There's no way.
Definitely not.
They saw that it was a great idea and then they bought it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, poor people invented almost everything cool.
Yeah, for sure. That
know?
desperation breeds good ideas or something.
Yeah, exactly. And the industry comes in and
Yeah, they
steals it.
They steal it, dude.
That's what I hate about as an original, an OG on YouTube. I hate that how much that has changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like when I first got started on YouTube, and hell, it only existed for like 2 or 3 years. You know, at the
Damn.
point we got like 08 is when we were getting started, and like YouTube was cool because it was just regular people making content.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like TV. It was kind of like TV. It's like all overproduced and fake and phony. You know, so that was what
Yeah, there
kind
were
of
like no ads back then, huh? Like
or-
when did
well,
ads?
the very first ads were just like a little banner.
Yeah.
You didn't have the like video beforehand.
Yeah, that's relatively new. I feel like that's within the last 5 years. Like where
Tho-
you can like full on commercials.
yeah, that's been around a while.
Okay.
That's been a pretty good while now. Yeah, we're old. We're getting old.
Yeah, goddamn.
But I feel like this happens with a lot of things. Though, but basically what happened was once they realized like, oh, there's money to be made here, then all the corporate entities came in and
Yep.
and kind of snatched it all up, and they changed algorithms and just got all kind of fucked.
Yeah, it was very cool for a second.
It
Like
was.
just totally like for the people,
Right.
by the people.
Yeah, and it can still be done.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's-
For
we're
sure.
on YouTube right now.
Hey,
We're like talking shit
you
about
too.
you.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah,
are
we
great.
actually like
You're
you
doing
a
a
lot.
great job.
Please show the video.
Reddit's like that too, though. Like Reddit, I feel like was cool
Yeah,
for a while, but I don't know now. I'm not
Yeah.
on there as much. I don't know if something happened, but yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like they got.
it's kind of like it's the natural progression. I feel like of almost all things. It starts out when something is new. It's very pure. And
Yeah.
then as it gets more and more complicated and complex and convoluted as more and more
people
hands start dipping in the pot.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it almost has to. I don't know what the other side of that looks like. I guess TV kind of has gone through the full range of that, where when it first started, you had like 4 channels or something,
Yeah,
right? And now you have 1 million,
literally.
and I guess it just became the internet. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. It's to me, it's all the same now. Like you're on your phone. You're on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
it's the internet. It's TV. It's your phone. Everything.
Right.
Everything every form of communication entertainment is now
Right.
in your palm.
Yeah. The term at some point, the term streaming will just go away,
Yeah,
because what's the point of that if like everything is streaming?
that is true. Yeah.
Why would
yeah.
it be on a cable?
Yeah,
You know?
that is true.
That's going to seem really archaic pretty soon.
Streaming.
No, just the idea of like video, like, oh, if you want to watch things on your screen, they have to run it through a physical cable.
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah,
It's over, bro. That happened very quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even home internet, I feel like is going to be gone soon, where it's all just going to come from satellites and stuff.
Really?
I would assume, because I mean the internet on phones is getting pretty damn good.
Yeah, that is true.
Once we get up to like whatever 17G.
Yeah. We get to 7G, I'm out of here, brother.
Yeah.
I'm fucking out of here.
That's too much mind control for me. Dude, that's the thing that pisses me off is how come there was never a discussion about like, do people want to be shown ads based on the conversations that they have in private?
Yeah.
Or text messages or
Yeah.
I've even written down jokes before I open my notes in my phone. Let's say I have a whatever, it's about tacos or something. Like tacos look like I don't know.
Pussies.
Yeah. Tacos. They look like tacos. You notice how a pussy looks like a taco? Yeah. Let's say I write that down in my joke notes. I'll like, open Instagram or something and I'll see like a Taco Bell ad. It's happened to me a bunch of times.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I like people who are like I guess there's nothing we can really do about it. It's already happened.
Right.
That whatever.
It's over.
But like I'm skeptical of them having that amount of access to it because there's no way because I have like friends who are like, so what? So what if they just want to sell me ads or if they want to show me ads? They're like, it's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's not all they're
It's
doing.
not about the ads.
That's all that we know. That's what they tell us that they're doing, dude.
Right.
But
exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
This is going to seem super tinfoil hat and paranoid.
That's where I live.
All right. But I swear, and I don't believe that it's true. I'm just noticing it when it happens. There's been a few times where I've seen ads where it's like, I was thinking about that. I'll tell you a story. All right. I'll tell you a very specific story.
Okay.
And this is a 100% true story.
Okay.
So some background to this. So I'm telling the truth. All right. So we make this video every year with the Hickok 45 videos where we kill pumpkins with like 10 different ways. We'll like hit them with a hammer, shoot them with a gun, do different things like that, right? We've been doing that series for every Halloween for like fucking 12 years or something, right? So it was coming around that time, and I was taking a shit, and I was thinking of ideas, and I was making a list, right? And one of the thoughts I had, like, oh man, it'd be funny if the pumpkin was like smoking crack, and that was like how it died, right? And I'm just thinking this in my head, and then this is all just internal, right? And I'm thinking like, oh, that'd be kind of funny, It's like, I don't know, some people might not like that. I might think it's a little too extreme. I was like, where would I even buy a crack pipe? Like, where would you even get something like that? And then I started thinking like, I don't know, it's probably not worth it, right? And this all happened in my head, okay? This entire thing was just in my head. I haven't talked to anyone about crack before this. I haven't Googled anything about crack. Nothing about crack has entered my space until I had this thought, at least in the last several months, okay? The first thing I do, I pick up my phone, and I have the Google phone, and you swipe right, and it shows you all these news articles. And just out of instinct, I swiped right. First article I see has a big picture of a crack pipe, and it's some kind of news story. I was like, you son of a bitch. I'm not allowed to let myself to believe that this is what happened, but it's a little scary.
I thought you were going to be like, you were going to add, like, is your pumpkin smoking crack?
Dude, if that happened, I'm in the woods tomorrow.
100%. Imagine buying crack for that video. Like, it's not for me, it's for my pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not that type of guy.
Yes. It's for a vegetable or whatever.
Yeah.
Are pumpkins vegetables?
I'm not sure.
I think them having seeds changes things.
It does, yeah.
They might be a fruit.
They might be, yeah.
Damn. Yeah, no, I think, I hope that's not, I hope you're just paranoid.
I hope so too.
I hope they can't extrapolate.
Again, I don't believe that that's true because I don't have enough evidence, but but things like that have happened enough times where I'm like, who knows, maybe.
How could that work?
That's the thing. I don't know.
They would never tell us.
Right. They would never
tell
us.
Doesn't Elon Musk want to give us all fucking brain chips?
Yeah, maybe he already has. He would travel back in time. Another thing too, that this is way less of a tinfoil hat type. I mean, that's like that is literally tinfoil hat shit, if you believe it. Literally. This is like not quite as extreme, but another thought I've had is if the all these algorithms on these different social media platforms, someone is in charge of that. You know, someone at the top is in charge of that, whether it's Zuckerberg or whoever, right? And if they have a certain narrative they want to push, we already know that they definitely show certain types of posts more based on what sort of narrative they want to post or push, right?
For sure.
So we already know that is a real thing that exists. So now, so think about that, and then combine it with this other fact that we know that our phones do listen to us. You know, like right now, whatever conversation we're having, like we'll probably have an ad or something from. Like that's not conspiracy. That's just a fact, right? So our phones are listening to us, and they have narratives they want to push. How do we know they're not like listening to us and then not show it? Like let's say you had a YouTube series where it was nothing but like baking, the most benign shit you can imagine, nothing but just baking cakes, let's say. But you have all these like crazy conversations with people, and your phone listens to that, and it connects those dots, and it hurts it's like, we don't want this guy to have a platform.
Yeah.
Because we've heard what he thinks.
Yeah.
We don't want this guy to have a platform, so then they hurt your reach based on that.
And you believe that?
I don't believe that. I'm just saying that's very within the realm of possibility.
Oh, I think that's definitely true.
You know?
But it's hard to apply that to because think about how many people
You can
have
never
to listen
prove it.
to. But I guess
I'm just saying how scary it can get.
Oh yeah, it can get wild.
You know,
It can get real wild. Maybe soon. I don't know. I'm with you, bro.
maybe already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the world's ending, or we're already all slaves and we don't know it.
Probably.
That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, on the flip side, like, I don't actually sit and worry about this stuff.
That's good.
That much, but if I really put my mind to it, I'm just like, oh, it's bad.
Yeah. When you think about how bleak some of it actually is, but then like at least we're here. You know what I'm saying? At least there's so many worse places we could be on top of them having all of the leverage.
Yeah, because there's people literally being enslaved to whatever dig cobalt out of a hill.
Yeah.
And we're like, what if they're a slave and I don't know it? They're like, I know it. It sucks.
I got slave hands. I got slave feet.
Yeah. You know what's worse than not knowing you're a slave? Knowing you're a slave.
Yeah, maybe they don't know. They're like, I just work very hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, I fucking love cobalt. I'm just like, whenever I see the ground, I'm like, I get that cobalt out of there.
I get to be outside.
Exercise.
That's funny. Like someone who you get transferred in your job to a cobalt mine. You're like, actually, not that bad. I get to be outside.
Yeah. It's that's part of the problem in modern society is we have too much access to like everything that's going on. That's what kills me is sometimes people feel like they gotta feel a certain way about everything that's going on.
It's crazy.
Like, there's always something bad happening. You're just gonna be sad all the time.
Yeah. Patrice
do that.
Patrice has that bit where he's like, I try to care. You ever like try to care? And he's like, he does the whole act out. And he's like, you just try. He's like, I can't actually do it. And he like pulls up the news and he's like, tsunami in China kills 50,000. And he's like, no, I don't care.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's like, I'm trying.
Yeah. He has another one similar to that. It might be part of the same bit where he's talking about being on a subway in New York, and the subway kills someone, and they get on, you know, and they get on a speaker and they're like, oh, the subway just run over someone, there's gonna be a delay, and everyone's like, oh my god, you know. And start looking at the watch like, how long is this gonna take?
So funny. That's true. There's no way we have the capacity to empathize with every tragedy across the planet. There's no way, dude. This is a totally new thing to society, to where we have information on everything that's going on in every community, civilization on the planet, and like our brains aren't meant to like have to compute that, and that's why so many people are fucking retarded.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you say retard on this podcast?
Oh, you can for sure.
Okay, yeah. I think people's brains are they're being filled with just all these things that they think they're supposed to care about, and they're just missing all the other shit. Like, I don't know.
And you know, I think the people that make such a big deal about how they act like you should care about everything are going to create a new wave of like psychos and serial killers.
100%.
Because some people are going to go like, oh, I'm supposed to care about those things, and I don't.
Yeah.
I must be a bad person.
Yeah.
I feel nothing.
Yeah, you're like trying to find where the Joker people hang out. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Where's the Joker gonna be this weekend? I feel like signing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, man. It's all this. I think we're just experiencing like this, like all like the crazy church revolutions where people like became like these like literally holier than thou, and everyone's like trying to take like the moral high road and all that shit.
Right.
That's like I think that's probably a part of human nature, but it's just being disguised. It's not. There's no church anymore. It's just like groups on Instagram, or you know what I'm saying. Like it's like a faith almost to go out and we do good. And I'm like, dude, you guys are compensating for something. You have children.
Absolutely.
You have children in your basement for sure. Like
Right.
I don't know. If you're out there on the internet selling yourself as a good person, you got skeletons in your closet, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Definitely. That's like I actually used to have a line from a joke I did when I first started comedy, and the line was, "I'm more afraid of normal people because they're just weird in a way they can't tell you about."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like someone seems a little off. It's like, okay, good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Those flaws are out in the open.
Yeah.
We
If you're
all
too
see
perfect, it's like, because everyone has flaws. It's like, can you see them or can you not see them? Those are the ones you should worry about.
Yeah. Are you in this fucking mad dash to cover up all your warts all day long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like notoriously clean comedians. Not all of them, obviously, but notoriously clean comedians, you know,
are monsters.
have some skeletons.
Monsters, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so the Cosby thing everyone knows about, but like obviously in hindsight 2020, like he was like making public statements about and like going on the record about like Richard Pryor and like Eddie Murphy's act being too dirty and shit. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like you're
crazy.
Cutting them down. It's like why do you think you have the right to do that?
You shouldn't be talking about the bad things on stage. You should be doing them after the show.
Yeah.
Dirty after the show.
That's crazy, bro. Is he's touring again? Is that people always say like, yeah, he's got shows, but I always think they're doing a bit.
I've looked on Ticketmaster because I would go as a bit.
Yeah,
that would be very funny to go to a Bill Cosby show.
100%. He would be a killer too.
Oh,
like he would be so good. I want to do I want to do a sketch. It's the worst don't tell ever.
Okay.
And like he's on the roster. Like him and Kramer. Like people are like, dude, what the fuck is this? Guys, make a lot of noise for your headliner tonight. Bill Cosby.
That would be hilarious. Dude, I don't know why it reminded me, but I had this sketch idea. I'll never make this.
Sure,
I'll never make this.
I'll never make that.
So for some reason, I don't. I appreciate good sketches, but I don't have the I'm not the make a sketch type of guy.
Yeah.
But I had this idea that to me is funny. Is like, what if you had a sketch where it was like the show Cheers, right? Where we've got guys hanging out in a bar. They're like super likable, personable, except it takes place in Nazi-occupied France. And it's like actual Nazis just hanging out in this bar. Just like, make the audience like them.
Yeah.
Which to me is hilarious.
That is funny.
Yeah.
And
then whenever they bring up something that's like political or that would be about the part that makes them horrible people, it just like very awkwardly cuts away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're only seeing the best part.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh man, yeah. So anyways, the Jews, and it's like, it's
like, yeah, work tomorrow's gonna suck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So tired. I'm exhausted from work today.
Yeah. Listen to what we had to do. Yeah, nothing. Yeah. It goes to the next scene.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, I got blood under my fingernails. I gotta go to the
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go to the bathroom, boys. Hold on.
Dude, a friend of mine who's actually a regular on this podcast and my old podcast, his name is Derek. People listen know who he is, but he's a military veteran, and he was stationed in Germany in the 80s. And he told me this story years ago about how when he's in Germany, this guy invited him and a bunch of other soldiers like to hang out, you know, and they went down in this guy's basement to like go drink with just some random guy or whatever. And he had an SS uniform,
dude,
in there, and they're thinking like, "Whoa!" And they realized, "Oh, it's his uniform."
Yeah,
like he was a former SS guy.
Yeah. That is awkward.
Pretty, yeah.
Were they cool beforehand? Like, were they? Like,
He said the guy was cool.
Sure,
I
I'm
guess
sure, yeah.
that's weird. That's a weird. I mean, all those guys are basically dead now. But what a weird time. You know, the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
You know, you had these guys that were like, you know, in their 60s or 50s or 60s. They're just around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess some of them maybe felt like, it was the war. It's over.
Yeah.
Americans
that's
are here
somebody's
now,
that's
it's
somebody's
fine.
grandpa.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I that would be. I don't know. I feel like you'd still be cool with. Like if you guys had a relationship, like
Yeah.
you didn't know him as the not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a bitch if you're. It's like a bitch move if you're his friend. You go down there and you see his old
Right.
Nazi uniform. You're like, dude, we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like you could still like go to lunch. You can't just cut him out.
Right.
Maybe he's changed.
Yeah, he's a new man.
Yeah. He's a rabbi now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's I tell you, the post-war Europe, that's an interesting it's
What in the 50s to 60s, like, or just in
that's what I
general?
mean. No, post-war, like right after World War II, Europe, like all that. You still got you got those guys there in Germany, and just everything's bombed out.
Yeah,
It had to be a
yeah.
weird,
It had to be a weird vibe wherever you went. You're like,
yeah.
"Ew,
Especially
whoops."
you grew up in that. Imagine, because if you're, let's see, you know, let's say if you're like 80, let's say like 80 years old, and you grew up in France or England or something like that, it's like you'd have memories of being like a kid just kind of playing around in the rubble,
Yeah,
being
totally.
like 5 or 6 years
As your
old.
car went
Yeah,
yeah,
You just find a live grenade.
yeah, yeah. That, yeah. I couldn't imagine.
Something Americans just don't know. We don't
We
know.
don't really know. The closest we
Understand.
had was 9/11.
Right.
You know, but no one.
That was just in that one little area.
Yeah, no one was playing in the rubble.
Right. No one's around that remembers the Civil War.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
true.
But
Yeah.
that's an experience. It's easy to forget. Like a lot of people have gone through where just have these wars that devastate where they live. I mean, a war where you live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You
I
know,
can't even comprehend.
the tanks coming down this street. You know what I mean?
It's one day.
It's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna happen. Eventually.
You think so? You gotta
No.
you gotta be crazy to invade America.
Yeah.
Like you have to do it some other way. You can't
Yeah.
just be like boots on the ground.
Right. Yeah. Because we got guns. Even
Yeah,
people got guns.
100%. You gotta cross oceans and shit, and yeah,
America is a pretty incredible strategic location.
no doubt. Every time I get bummed out, I'm like, well, what, everyone's like, oh, the fall of Rome, and it's like, yeah, that is true. But like Rome's getting invaded all the time. Like they have skirmishes. At least, I mean, I'm not. Look, I'm not.
They also invaded everything.
Yeah, I'm not.
They were hated everywhere.
everywhere, and which we are too, I guess.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have to hate us from afar. It's like a
Right.
long distance hate relationship.
That's true. Yeah. That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rome, that's another thing we're lucky is we don't have border enemies.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, exactly. So like I feel like if people were going to try to pull some shit on America, we would probably find out about it because it would be too big of an operation
Yeah.
to keep under wraps. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like, you're going to sneak 1,000 ships across the Atlantic Ocean or something? Like how how would you pull it off?
I think the biggest threat to us is like maybe just, I don't know, degrading economically to a point
Oh,
where
that's
we
happening.
lose our it is happening, but
Yeah.
where we lose the strength of our military, is always possible.
Yeah, I guess so. To where people are like, not as strong
Yeah.
as they used to
But,
be.
yeah. I'll tell you, I hope that we aren't like this, but it's a real eye opener when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
We had this idea like, okay, Russia's like a comparable superpower
Mm-hmm.
because in the past, last time they were doing some shit, they were.
In Rocky IV, we were. It
Oh,
seemed
yeah,
like
yeah.
we were,
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
even Steven.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They killed Apollo Creed, bro.
right. But they don't have shit. Like they were kind of peacocking with their military.
Really?
Like, yeah, they have a lot of really advanced stuff, but they've had a real hard time with Ukraine.
In terms of, but aren't they? Like, so they say that we go to war just to like make money because that's like our big industry. Don't they have their own military industrial complex?
Maybe that's what all it is.
Yeah.
yeah. It's their Iraq.
Yeah.
You know,
Because if they wanted to win the war, they could do it tomorrow, right?
Maybe
They could
you're
just,
right,
Just
yeah.
nuke a town.
oh
or-
right, there's that. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
I know their tanks have been getting knocked out a ton.
Okay.
A U.S. The tanks, the M1 Abrams tank that we use, has never been defeated in like tank on tank combat, I think. And like we moved to Iraq. I mean, I think a few got knocked out by IEDs, but it wasn't like this.
Yeah.
You know, like Russia's using tanks from they're like T-72s and shit like that.
What the fuck are they doing, bro? I feel like
I think they just don't have the like they have some sophisticated military stuff, but they don't have it to scale. You know,
they just got a couple good ones,
right? Exactly. Oh, hey, look at this sophisticated shit we got. It's like, oh yeah, but you have 5 of them.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. Why would you go to war? Maybe maybe they're like, the plan is to, like, maybe they know they'll win in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It seems like no war is short. The only war that was short was when we invaded Panama, or was it Panama or the Grenada?
I get those confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little
Grenada,
side wars.
Grenada.
Yeah. Tomato, Grenada. Yeah.
No, I think we invaded Grenada for like 6 hours and installed a military coup.
Yeah.
Quickly. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
all I know.
Yeah. Now we got the war in Israel and everything. It's crazy.
Can't wait.
I know. Yeah. I mean, there is. I mean, we're definitely closer to World War III than we ever have been.
Yeah, I suppose so. This is how it starts, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The joke I've been making to everybody is like, I'm just excited to do the USO tour.
Yeah, those boys are gonna need some laughs.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that tour's gonna be hot. Dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all over Europe, bro.
Yeah. Dude, I'm pretty sure it's Jim Jeffries, but he has the best like comedian USO story ever. Have you
Okay.
heard it?
No.
It's so funny. I think he does it. I'm pretty sure. I think this is like actually in one of his hours. I don't think it's just from a podcast. I think he actually does a bit about it. But basically, what happened was he was flying a helicopter going in to do a show like through a combat zone, and then there was some guy firing a pistol up at the helicopter, and he was sitting near the gunner, machine gunner, and he's like, "Can that get to us?" You know. He's like, no, but we can get to him. And then he just shot the guy. Like he wasn't even going to shoot him.
No.
It was like, now that you mention it.
Jim Jeffries, he's like, I opened my big fucking mouth.
Yeah,
That was the worst Australian accent ever. Yeah. I just had to say something.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. The guy just like,
Yeah, pretty cool, right? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that USO tour is really about to be hot, man. It was only in the Middle East. Now it's about to be, still in the Middle East. But maybe you can do Egypt. Maybe you can do.
That's right.
Yeah, don't tell Giza.
That's right. If it's a world war, you kind of go anywhere. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, really COVID and then World War III has been great for stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
It really has.
That's true.
It's been like the first thing to bounce back. And it seems like we're going to be very, like protected.
Right.
People have really prioritized what we do.
It's like in The Sopranos. You've seen The Sopranos?
I've seen one season.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I should watch one.
Well, Silvio Dante, he's a guitar player for fucking Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yeah.
But he's like got that thick Jersey accent, and he's like two things are recession proof: our thing, and certain aspects of the show business.
Certain aspects. That's right, dude.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
Our thing,
stand up is pretty recession proof.
I think so. People are gonna be coming out no matter what. Seriously, it was COVID. Music took at least 6 months to a year longer to bounce back than probably longer. I would say because they were doing a lot of like vax only concerts kind of shit.
Yeah,
and stand up was back like quickly.
Yeah,
because when I was in South Carolina during COVID and there was no COVID, like people were like, we don't give a fuck. We're gonna pray this shit away.
Yeah.
And that was great because there was like a month where we didn't do shit. But I remember doing shows in like May 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like March was like weird.
Yeah.
But then when I moved to Cincinnati, it was a little more serious. But
So Cincinnati was kind of harder to.
Yeah. Well, Cincinnati's weird because
Chicago was shut down for a while.
That's what I hear. Like not even a mic for a year.
Crazy.
Which is I would have lost my mind.
In Nashville, we had mics after about 3 months.
Yeah. Cincinnati's like a weird place to where they're like, well, we are a city, like, yes, you are a city, but you're a city in between Ohio and Kentucky. Like,
Right.
let's not like,
Yeah.
you know who you are. Fucking don't act like you're Seattle.
Right.
Like and so there was like some hesitance there. Like they were trying to be moderate. They were definitely more COVID conscious than South Carolina was, for sure.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yeah, I think like that summer we were doing shows in Cincinnati, and during one of the like fall winter spikes, they wanted to shut things down again, and like yeah. But by 2021, it was pretty much normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually during the pandemic ran a show in my house. I had this. This might be too inside baseball for the listeners, but I had this idea when the pandemic happened. You know, I was at a point in stand up where I felt like I was finally hitting like for that time I was hitting a little bit of a stride, you know.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened. I was like, God, it just felt like took all the wind out of my sails, you know,
Sure.
kind of thing. I was like, I can't stop doing stand up.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want to lose just feeling sharp and feeling like I'm kind of on top of it or whatever. And then so I had this idea. I remember I put it in the comedy group, in the Nashville comedy group. I was like, all right, I got a plan, everybody. They said we can't have gatherings more than 10 people. This is what we do. We all pick our group, and we do shows and mics at that person's house. And we don't intermix the groups. Everyone kind of has their group. They find their people, you know, which would have been easy because everyone was all clicked up anyways.
Yeah.
You know, not a problem. But it's like, don't do each other's. Just find your group and then just do shows, right? And there was a couple people that were kind of like, oh, yeah, okay. And then basically no one did it except I did it.
Yeah.
And I had a group of about 10 people. The average attendance was probably like 6.
Yeah.
The most we had one time we had 11, so we were fucking outlaws.
Back
dude.
to the gills.
We were
dude,
outlaws.
Yeah.
But usually it's about 6. A couple times it was like 3. It was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But usually
3 people is insane.
It's pretty insane. But usually it was about 6 or 7, something like that. You know,
That's
5
cool,
5
dude.
to 7. And I ran it in my basement. I had like a little PA or whatever. And even though it's just a few people sitting around on the couch that they're doing stand up to, it still was like it was so much better than Zoom and not doing it.
Did you do any Zoom? Any Zoom shows?
I did one. I was like, this is not helping me at all.
I did one, and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever done.
It feels like all risk, no reward. Because it just, all the bad things of bombing was none of the good things.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bomb in my bedroom.
You know? I got to live here.
Yeah,
I can't leave.
I don't need this stink here. I got to sleep in here, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was
Nightmare.
that was brutal. No, that's cool though. You're like a patriot. You're like Paul Revere or something.
I was.
I mean,
I used to say, I'm sure some other people did, but I was like, this is the only comedy show in the fucking country right now.
Yeah.
One of the first. I mean, because I started I think the first one we did was like, let's see, it was in March. It was like the middle of March. Yeah, it was like early April. I mean, it wasn't long. It was like things were closed for a couple of weeks, and then we all kind of got together. It was fun, man. I kind of missed those days. You know, I still got close friends out of that time period. You know, we'd hang out, drink. I had a kegerator. So I would get kegs and we would run through those things.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, that's cool. That's what we were supposed to do during COVID. You know, like you find the people you're closest with, the thing you care most about.
Yeah.
And you just gotta double down on that shit.
And none of us got COVID in 2020. I didn't get it until early 21, like February 21.
Yeah, I got it January, February of 2021.
Okay.
I've had it 3 times.
3?
Oh,
dude, I have the full collection.
Officially.
I've had every strain.
Collect them all.
Yeah. Got to catch them all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I had it in January 2021, January 2022, and then I'm pretty sure I had it this summer for like 24 hours. It felt I was like, I know what this feels like.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't really shelter in play. I was at a Grateful Dead concert. I was like passing joints around with everyone. It's like, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I feel like at this point, if you have it now, it's like, unless you're just like really sick. I mean, it's fine. It's like
it's fine. Yeah,
it's just another because we never did that before. No one was like, "Oh, I have a cold. I can't go out in public."
Yeah, you're not gonna get extra attention.
Yeah, you might miss a day at work or something.
Yeah, 2 years ago you could get it and people like, ooh, thoughts and prayers. We'll be thinking about you. But now it's like,
Yeah.
whatever, bro. Why did you tell me this shit? Fuck
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Are you coming to dinner or not?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. In Chicago, I still see people wearing masks and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. All the time. I don't know what it's like everywhere else. Like, I haven't been, like, I want to go back home and, like, go to the grocery store and see what it's like. But yeah, Trader Joe's, I would say, like, 10% of the people still wear masks. And
Crazy.
it's like, yeah. It's like, dude, take the L.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Take the L, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. What are you holding on to? This is your identity?
Yeah.
You're gonna be the masked person picking out grapes? Come on.
Right. I remember getting it from both sides where, for a long time, I was the guy going to the grocery store not wearing a mask. People were like looking at me, judging. Yeah. I was just like, fuck you, And then there was a period of time where I was like, all right, fine. Literally everyone's wearing it. So I would wear, or it was like they were really strict about, like, they'd send you away if you didn't have one.
Yeah.
And then I go to the grocery store, and then it'd be one guy not wearing it. And then he would look at me like, fuck you. And I'm like, damn it. I should be that guy.
That's fucking cool, dude.
I honestly, I still remember there was one guy in particular I met eyes with down the hall when I was wearing a mask. And he was, and this was a time like everybody had one.
Yeah.
And he didn't have one. And I was like, fuck, you're right. Damn it. I sold out my beliefs.
That's hilarious. Yeah, dude. One time I got real ballsy with it. This is not a. I don't know. I don't know what this story says about me, but I don't know which airport I was in, but it was, it wasn't like JFK. It wasn't like anything crazy, but it was like a normal size airport. Like I remember there was trains.
Okay.
So that's at
Atlanta?
least maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know where we were going, but it was pretty much in the thick of it for sure. Like I think it was probably before the vaccine came out. And I don't know if there was a mask mandate per se. Bro, there may have been because they were like shouting it over the speakers.
Like, that was a scary time.
They're like, if you don't
wear
a mask, you will have minimum $50,000 fine.
Dude,
bro,
that shit's crazy.
Dude, I don't know how I was just flexing or I just wanted trouble that day. But I was the only motherfucker in the airport without one on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And nobody said shit to me.
Yeah.
Like nobody, because they knew, they knew, dude. They knew deep down that they were just being safe or whatever.
Yeah.
And that I felt like I was definitely cavalier with some of that shit. And I had, every now and then you have some people say something cross to you. But yeah, even my wife was like, she's like, you're going to be the only motherfucker here.
Yeah.
Not in a mask. I'm like, goddamn right. Somebody's got to do it, goddamn it.
That's so funny. Do you remember the mesh masks?
The mesh masks?
Yeah.
The fake?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Wait, the ones that you can still breathe through? Or like, hold on.
Well, that was like, to me, one of the funniest passive-aggressive moves.
So, yeah.
I went to a furniture store and a guy had one of those. Like, clearly, like, all the employees were required to wear one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had these masks. It was like a goddamn chain link fence. Like, that's how open it was.
Could you imagine you're wearing like a punter's helmet? Fucking with one foot.
Basically. Yeah, 70s football.
Yeah. So because I remember seeing commercials for they're like massive. They're just wide open, right?
They're just like not a mask.
You just don't wear one, bro. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think some people that it was required. It was kind of a way for them to be like, I got one on, technically.
Fine.
Yeah. God, what a crazy time. I'm so glad that's over.
Oh, bro, me too. Every time I have like a bad day or like, you're just like, as you know, in stand-up, it's up and down.
Yeah.
But like, at least it's back, though.
Yeah, at least we can do this.
At least we're all the way back, bro. Like,
yeah.
Because there were, it was spooky there for a little bit. It's like, I don't know when this is ever going to be the same. Yeah. And thankfully, it bounced back pretty quick.
Yeah. Do you remember Sam Morril put out that pandemic special?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, and I remember having this thought, like, man, this is really cool, but really soon it's going to be very lame. But then wait another 5-10 years, it's going to be really cool again.
Yeah. It's going to age really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
give it enough time. Like right now, no one probably wants to see that. But you give it a few more years.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, wow, that's right. I remember that. That was crazy.
He like carved out a piece of time kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's really cool. Yeah, I mean, it was just so well done and so neat.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing called NBA Top Shot. It's NBA's version of NFTs,
Okay.
and it's like basically, fuck. I lost so much money on buying these things, but they're basically you can buy a highlight, and there's only so many of them. They're like
Oh,
trading cards.
That's pretty cool.
But it's like a Harry Potter picture of a
Yeah.
highlight that's alive, and they only mint so many of them.
Mhm.
It's like Pokemon for NBA,
yeah.
something like that. And I was like, dude, I don't know if this is gonna be a thing, but it is cool, and there
Yeah.
will be a market for this at some point. And I remember buying ones from the whatever the bubble season was,
Mhm.
to where it's just like you're seeing highlights of like LeBron James, but in a totally fucking empty stadium, which will
Yeah.
never happen again.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, this is gonna be so cool. one
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
And they have gone so far down in price. It's insane.
Hang on to it, though.
It is. I do think they're cool. Like it's a cool idea, and it is. It just shows.
Yeah.
Like damn. Like it'd be like buying. I don't know.
The thing with, I feel like crypto and NFTs, I mean, they could definitely take different paths, but I feel like it's like people obviously shit on it because like it's all speculation, which everything is
Sure.
basically. It doesn't have a home yet.
Yeah.
None of that stuff has like a true home yet,
Yeah.
which will probably be some new like type of social media that we can't fathom yet, is my theory. Like I think some people thought Meta was going to be that. It wasn't that, but there's going to be something that we can't picture yet. In the same way, when YouTube came out, we're like, "Oh, this is new," but we probably couldn't still picture like Instagram yet.
Yeah.
It'll be another thing.
Yeah.
It won't just be another Instagram or Twitter. It'll be like a new type of thing, and
No
maybe
doubt.
all of those will have their own versions of it, and where that stuff will really have a home. Where it's because the thing is with it, in the same way, if you had a Michael Jordan rookie card, you post a picture of it. Look at this thing that I got. It's like, whoa, that's cool, but is it real?
Yeah.
Whatever. Is that really your photo? Do you really have that? But one thing about an NFT is if it was integrated with these systems, and there's a way that you're like posting it. There's like in a way where it's like, oh, you have that. You wouldn't
authentic.
even be allowed to post that if that wasn't yours
yeah,
and connected to your account, however it worked. So I think it'll come back around.
Yeah, it's a punchline right now, but I do think
Right.
the technology is going to be there.
There's a bit from a comedian from several years ago where he has this whole bit shitting on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I remember looking in the comments, and people were like, they looked it up when he did this bit and recorded it. Bitcoin was worth $6,000. So people shit on how crypto has gone down now, but it's still at like 20,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It still
So,
tripled your money.
yeah,
Yeah, which is hard to do in 5 years, 6 years. Is what I'm saying. So it's gonna be interesting. I feel like in maybe 21, 22, maybe fall of 21. Like that's where like the peak of the NFT mania and like the metaverse and all that shit. Dude, I saw you could buy plots of land on the metaverse. It was I forget the format. But I was like, I totally see this being a thing down the road.
right.
Not right now. I mean, those plots of real estate were going for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah,
But I was like, dude, you're gonna be able to like put on your headset and then like someone like Dolce and Gabbana or something, they're gonna buy that real estate and make a virtual store that you walk inside of and you fucking just shop in.
right.
And so like I do think it will it just may be 20 years from now. I don't
Right.
know, but
Yeah, the world's getting more and more digital, So there's going to be to me the fear of like crypto and NFTs tanking or not being valuable could be that like the move goes in a different way.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of like I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this. Like if you watch depictions of the future from the 80s, they didn't comprehend flat screen TVs. They just thought there'd be like more of them.
Yeah,
Or something. You were saying I literally seen like movies where it's supposed to be like they're in space. Well, like Star Wars. Look at Star Wars. They still have these like shitty graphics
yeah.
on these like obviously like tube screens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know?
They're rolling out a TV on like remember in elementary school they put the
Yeah.
TV on like a fucking
Yeah.
a cabinet on wheels.
Right,
They just
exactly.
had a bunch of those and stuff.
Yeah. Like, we'll be able to communicate through screens, and they open a thing, and it's just like a fucking tube TV. With, yeah. So I mean, you never know. It could all just tank. That's why you don't want to put too much in there. But
Yeah, for sure. I definitely cool my jets on the NFT world. The only thing that captivated me was the NBA Top Shot, because like this, I was like, this is cool as a sports fan.
yeah, it was cool.
I don't know, like some of them were like some of the higher selling ones, like the rare LeBron James ones were going for like 400 grand.
I'll tell you, it'd be a good investment. Which before this podcast goes out to America, everyone in America sees it. I bet if you bought a Wemby one, like right now while everything is low.
Yeah. Dude, I saw some highlights the other day. I was
Dude,
like,
Wemby's not going to be a bust.
How could he?
He may not be the next LeBron James, but he's not going to be a bust.
Dude, he just needs to eat some Hungry Man's, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I watched highlights the other day. It doesn't look real, first of all. It doesn't looks like some fucking AI generated player. Like I've seen like clips of like people who like create their own, like they find like glitches and they like hack into 2K and they create basically Zeus.
It's like freaks.
Yeah, that's what it fucking looks like. It's like this isn't even this guy's running up the fucking it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw highlights of him hitting threes. Like he had a dunk. Like he's
smooth. He's not awkward. That's
no, he's gonna be nasty. He's gonna be so good.
Yeah. I hope it brings back the center in the league.
He's not even gonna play center though.
I know, but they're gonna need big guys to defend him in the paint. I feel like
for sure. But I feel like he's gonna be like moving around.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna be.
You got to have some kind of presence down there.
Surely.
Otherwise, he'll just tear you apart every time inside.
Yeah, all he really needs is just like a little baby hook. That's all he really has to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. How tall is he?
7'3". They were saying some shit like 7'4", 7'5". I think he's 7'3".
Okay.
But yeah, pretty tall.
Yeah.
And he could dunk without. I remember I went to a UK basketball camp when I was a kid, and I think it was a freshman in high school. Either that or right before my freshman year. Rondo, Rondo was playing for them at the time. I met Rondo, and he was an asshole. But
really,
yeah, he was. He was kind of.
I could see him not being interested in.
He was just
anything.
like, this is bullshit. I just want to play. But they had this guy at the time. His name was Shagari Aline or something like that.
Yeah,
this guy?
Yeah, dude. There was
he was 7'3". He could dunk. I physically with my own eyes, I watched him dunk without leaving the floor.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
there was a girl I went to high school with. I don't really know her, but she didn't have a great reputation. And
I feel like there's so much baked into that.
Yeah, she didn't have a great reputation. I'm sure she's a sweet lady.
Yeah.
Nowadays, shout out to this person. But people like. So obviously, I grew up in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and UK has a presence, and so everyone knows who Shagari Aline is.
Okay.
People are like, "Yeah, dude, heard this lady blew Shagari Aline in his car," and no one was like, "Yeah, that." No one even fact checked.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, that's definitely true." And it may be true, but that's my only point of reference. Shagari Aline.
Yeah, she was actually on top of the car. His dick went through the sunroof.
Yeah. She was on all fours.
Yeah, dude. What blew me away about that guy is he's 7'3", but his head still looked too big for his body.
Oh damn, he was skinny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough to be big. That's what's impressive about Wemby. It's not just that he's big. It's the way there's other guys that are that tall.
Yeah. Oh, you think he's proportional?
Well, no, I'm just saying the way he can move.
Oh yeah.
Like Shagari seemed stiff and like.
Yeah, he moves like Kevin Durant moves or
Yeah.
something like that. Because Kevin Durant, when he first was coming out, it was like, damn, this guy doesn't look real. He looks like a fucking tarantula playing.
It does.
Yeah, this is
It's
crazy.
like a goddamn spider.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this gonna work? Because I remember when he got drafted, there was like a video of him. He couldn't bench 135.
Yeah.
And people were like, bust. So there's no way Wemby could. I'm calling him Wemby like I know him.
Yeah.
There's no way Big W could fucking.
Yeah.
He couldn't bench press 135. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way. But it doesn't. I guess basketball's not that kind of sport.
Right. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't know. I want to try to catch a game. I looked up the.
Are they coming to Chicago?
Yeah, I think a couple times probably, or at least once.
The
Tickets
Bulls are supposed to
probably.
be so bad.
Yeah, that's one thing, man. Bulls tickets are very expensive.
Yeah.
They're very expensive, which is frustrating with how many games they play, and then the Bulls are not even that good right now.
Yeah, for how shitty they are.
You know, But I think the United. I don't know if it's just because it's Chicago, but the United Center tickets are high.
Yeah,
You know?
well, I went to one game last year. I was like, damn, this place is nice.
It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like you grew up watching the Bulls.
Yep.
The first time you looked up at those banners,
Yeah.
pretty special, right?
Yeah.
it kind of got to me. I was like,
it's
fuck,
damn, dude, I'm in the fucking
holy
church.
shit.
I'm in the cathedral right now.
You see the statue?
Yeah.
You saw the statue, right?
Of course.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can walk out and look at the statue, and man, especially like as I played, even though my career didn't go as far as I wanted it to, but it was just like, man, this is special to be here.
I got to see Michael Jordan play when I was a kid. Just a
Wow,
fucking
that's
snot-nosed
so awesome.
fucking brat.
Damn.
My uncle lived here, and I saw him probably like 3 times.
Wow.
And I don't remember a ton.
In the Bulls era or the Wizards?
Bulls era.
Bulls era.
It was.
Wow.
I know. I saw him in '96.
Wow.
Because, yeah,
Damn.
I remember them like flashing their record. Like they had like lasers flashing their record because they went 72-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were at that point they were like 64-3 or whatever.
Wow.
And they're like they lasered it onto the court, and it's like damn. And
That's so cool.
I didn't know. I didn't know that an actual band made that song, the Alan Parsons Project. I thought I thought that it was just something that somebody in the Bulls.
Yeah.
Like I made this intro song.
Yeah.
It fucking rips.
Yeah.
But no, it's a real band song. It came on my Spotify. I was like on my like Discover or whatever.
Mhm.
That I'm just driving and that song just starts playing. I'm like, oh fuck, having flashbacks. Yeah,
Damn. That's such a cool snapshot in history you got to see.
no doubt.
I wish
Rodman, fucking
Man.
everybody.
I watched the games on TV. I was a fan, but my parents never took me.
God
They
damn,
never took me.
not once.
No, never. The first NBA game I ever got to see was, I think it was 2004. It was when Shaq went to the Miami Heat, and it was a preseason game because they played at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks, and of course Shaq didn't play.
Of course.
I was looking out there. I was like, "Where's Shaq?" And then he comes walking out in street clothes. I was like, "God damn!" Saw D Wade. Saw Dwayne Wade play.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's,
And the Hawks, I forgot his name. The Hawks had some incredible player that year. It's funny. He was almost like a Dominic Wilkins type guy where they were never on a winning team, but he was like a total standout. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember.
I'm trying to think who that would be.
But I remember he put on a show.
Hawks player Joe Johnson back then.
Nah, I would probably recognize
Josh
if I heard it.
Smith.
Maybe.
I don't know. The
I don't
Hawks
know.
they had some cool players.
They have,
in that era.
The Hawks have weirdly not had like a great year. I wonder what the best Hawks year has been.
I don't know. They should be better. You know,
Yeah.
like they're the
Good
only
bet.
basketball team within. I guess Memphis is kind of close, but like, yeah,
That's
they're
true.
just like perpetually average.
Yeah. I saw Memphis when they played Chicago last year. That was cool.
Okay,
John
yeah,
Morant.
that would be sick.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Oh man, I thought about trying to go. Tickets are going to be real expensive, but I thought about trying to go when they play this year because Derrick Rose is on Memphis now.
So
Derrick Rose
Are
returned.
you trying to cry at
D
the
Rose.
United
Yeah,
Center?
yeah, exactly.
Have an
Yeah.
emotional experience.
Dude, I love special situations. Like I'll tell you, being in an arena when there's like something like that happening, it's pretty cool.
That is true. That is true because 50,000 people, or well, that's not how many people go to a Bulls game, but whatever, thousands of people being locked in into like the same moment. There is something about that. It's kind of tribal.
Yeah.
You know, I know. I'm with you on that.
I went to see when I first moved to Chicago. I went to see Adam Sandler at the United Center, and when he did the Chris Farley song, got to me a little bit.
Of course. No, that's the beauty of all live
Yeah.
performances, dude. That's why stand-ups is shit, and sports too.
Oh man, the energy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. It would be sick. Sandler's got it good because he plays music too. But I wish I could play music. Like if I could trade out stand up for being in a band, I think I'm pretty sure I would do it.
I think it's the ultimate.
Yeah.
Like nothing's better than a rock star. That's why people say other things are like a rock star. You know,
Yeah.
it's the number one.
Yeah, that's true. That's like the highest compliment. That guy's a rock star.
Right.
No one ever is like, that guy's an accountant, man.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever you say is like a rock star, a rock star is better. You know. Yep. All right. Well, I guess we've gone long enough. It's good to have you on.
Absolutely,
It was fun.
bro.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man.
This
A lot
was
of fun. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye, America.
All right. Yeah. All of America. All of America.
Goodbye.
Oh, before we leave, you seen that thinking that the ref, when the NFL ref and the player interrupts him, he goes, "Excuse me, I'm speaking to America right now."
No.
You haven't seen that?
No, no,
Oh
no,
shit!
no,
I gotta pull that up
no.
show too.
Oh my
all right.
God.
I'll see you guys next time.